Jason Clawson. I live in Utah. I have I just had a baby. Well, I did it. My wife just had our baby girl. That is a miracle we can talk about today. And so that joins with my two boys. We live in Vineyard, Utah. I'm a clinical therapist by trade, and but what I'm happy and passionate about is helping people find their light again and find happiness again. And I've done that through therapy, through coaching. But more or less, my mission now is people that have lost their way and lost hope and loss and been dealt with difficult things. Is my passion is to help bring the light back on and help them follow what they need to be doing and connect them back to God and Christ to be able to direct that path. And it's amazing to see people change and to be influenced for good to be able to get their life back.
That's beautiful. I love your heart and I love your passion. Um, so in these interviews, we talk a lot about what's the journey like, and it's not all roses. It's not I'm at the top of the mountain and you're at the bottom, and we're going to figure out how to get there. But it's what does the journey look like individually for you? The hard and the good and the emotional, the mental, all of the things that you went through.
Yeah.
So can you give us the story of how did you come to find your mission and purpose?
Well,
And
I say I don't think you can fully prepare for what is going to be thrown in your path. Um, but I think you need to be open and willing to be able to let the path guide you and include God in the process so that you can find how you need to grow and who you need to connect with. Because I would say about 4 years ago, when I felt like my life was going really well and we were connected and we were going to church and we were good in the community and we were doing everything we can. And then within about a uh, month time frame, my wife, we found ourselves up at the hospital, and my wife's having exploratory surgery to find out what was going on with this large mass in her stomach. And I remember having this thought saying, okay, God, let's hurry up and get this done so we can go back to the good we're doing in the community. And I'm helping people with their recovery and helping people with traumatic events. It's like, okay, we got to speed things up so that we can get back to the life we're living. And I remember the doctor coming in, and I was praying and I was crossing my fingers, and I remember saying, I think you owe me one, God, because of the good that I've been doing. And then the doctor walks in, looks me in the eye, and says, Jason, I'm so sorry, but your wife has stage 4 colon cancer. And I remember my heart just sinking and thinking, oh no, my life is going to be altered and it's going to be different. And I immediately went to, how am I going to tell my kids? How are we going to pay for this? How are we emotionally going to get through this? And how do we fight back? And this heaviness, I remember this heaviness. I feel it on my shoulders, just was put on my shoulders as the father that was supposed to help his family, protect and guide his family through challenging times. And that's when I felt like my my life that was good was changed. And I remember feeling like this is not fair. how how could how could God put this in my path? Because we are doing, again, I keep going back, we're doing so much good. How could this happen to us? And it was it was a time in my life where I felt like things started to get really slow, and hard to process.
Okay, so quick question. So I know we're going to go into the mission and the hope and all the things that you're working on now and how you found that. But what at that point when life was going good right before the diagnosis, what did you feel like your purpose, your mission was at that point? And then we'll see how it transitioned through that space.
Yeah, I felt like my purpose was connecting with people that were dealing with trauma and addiction, and I was a person that could sit in a therapy session and really listen to their heart, and I could really help them walk the path to where they needed to be. So I felt like I had a lot of influence one on one with people in my therapy office, and I felt like that's what I was good at, and that's what I was passionate about. Um,
So your work
look,
was your passion, that you chose a career that worked with your passion, that worked with your gifts, and you
yeah,
felt like I'm just helping people. My life's good, so I'm going to help you. It's kind of
yeah,
what.
yeah, and I felt like God, like before I started therapy sessions, I learned that if I could kneel down and I could say a prayer before my sessions, I could really look at the person for who God sees them as. And when I started to change the way I was looking at people, I was able to really connect and help people. So that was a shift for me. And I felt like in those sessions, I really could make a difference because I could look at someone and they could be all tatted up and like earrings and like just look awful, but I could see them for who God sees them. And it was amazing to be able to experience that on a regular basis.